This is Cathy Cassidy and I'm here to read you another chapter from Scarlett. And today I'm reading from my workroom again, and yeah, I'm doing that because this particular chapter, chapter 26 that I'm going to read you today, starts off in Clare's workroom. And behind me today you can see one of my vintage patchwork pieces. It's kind of quite tatty but very, very beautiful, really old fabrics in it. And the reason for that is because there is a patchwork theme in this chapter as well. So I'm going to warn you right up front, it is a very dramatic chapter. So hang on to your hats and here we go. Chapter 26. The rain starts then, slowly at first, big drops of rain that spatter my hand as I reach out to pull the window closed. By the time Clare has tidied the workbench, it's pelting down, hammering against the workshop's tin roof. This has been threatening all week, Clare says, draping blankets over the freshly poured trays of soap. At least the storm will clear the air. I frown. I hope Dad and Holly are okay in Galway, I say. Might not even be raining there, Clare says. The valley has much more dramatic weather than the rest of the area because of the loch and the mountains. We get these storms sometimes. It's not really surprising after the weather we've been having. Should have known that it wouldn't last. We pull the door shut behind us and run across the grass to the house. The rain lashes us with icy fingers, pelting our hair, running down our bare arms in tiny rivulets. By the time we get inside, we're drenched. Clare chucks me a towel and I rub at my hair, heading upstairs to change. I pick out a black top and a short red wraparound skirt. When I come back down, Clare has the patchwork cot quilt spread out over her knees and a bag of scrap fabric spilt out across the table. 2 more lemonades sit side by side next to the scrap bag. Thanks, Clare. I pick up my drink and drift over to the window. The rain is sluicing down, so fast I can barely see out. My plans to spend the afternoon by the loch with Cian are not looking good. A new crash of thunder makes me step back from the window. It's getting closer, I say. I hope the chickens will be okay. They've coped with worse than this, Clare tells me. They won't like it, of course, but these storms never last too long. Don't worry about it, Scarlett. It's silly, I know, but when I was a kid, I was really scared of thunderstorms. Now I know that there's nothing really to be scared of, but still, each flash of lightning and each crash of thunder twists my insides a little. I sit down at the table, sipping my drink, and open my maths book at a fresh chapter. I've been staring at the first problem for a whole 5 minutes when Clare takes the book away and closes it gently. Help me instead, she says. It'll take your mind off things. I'm fine, I protest. I know you are, Clare says lightly. It's just that I could do with some advice. I've almost finished this, but it still looks a bit flat and ordinary. It needs something else. I just don't know what. I spread the quilt out across the table. It's beautiful. A tiny patchwork of random shapes and colours, overstitched with bright embroidery threads. I can see the pale blue stripes of Holly's outgrown school dress, a washed out scrap of denim from an old pair of Dad's jeans, a pastel floral print that has to be cut from something of Clare's. Bits and pieces of their lives are stitched into this quilt, pieced together to make the new baby warm and welcome. It needs more colour, Clare says decisively, something strong and vivid to frame the paler scraps. A border. Red, maybe? The thunder booms again outside, rattling the window panes. I'd like to put something into the quilt, I say softly. I know I'm not a proper sister, but... Scarlett, you are, Clare exclaims. You're going to be this baby's half-sister exactly like Holly. I'd love you to contribute something to the quilt. I've wanted to ask you 100 times, but I was scared you'd say no. I would have said no, I admit. I didn't want to be part of this family or part of this project, not to start with. But, well, I feel differently now. It's not too late, is it? Claire puts a hand out to touch my cheek. It's not too late at all, she says. How could it be? Thank you, Scarlett. You could have a bit of this, I say, pulling at my red skirt. Or maybe my burgundy combats. What do you think? Ah, no, Claire says. You can't cut them up. It would be such a waste. I shrug. I don't have any old clothes with me, though. Unless, well, there's the stuff in the attic, Claire says. The thunder crashes again and the kitchen light flickers slightly, then steadies. What stuff in the attic? I ask. There's nothing of mine up there. Claire hesitates, biting her lip. She can't quite meet my eye. Claire? Actually, there is, she says at last. Sacks and sacks of stuff that your dad has kept hold of for years, since you moved out of that house in Islington. I think he was supposed to be taking it to the charity shop, but he made the mistake of looking in the bin bags and he just couldn't bear to part with it. My head is spinning. What was in those bin bags all that time ago? Toys, clothes, books, bits and pieces of my childhood. When Dad left, I threw out everything I could from the old days. Getting rid of the memories was not so easy. He kept it all? I ask. Everything? I think so, Claire tells me. I'm sorry, Scarlett. He should have told you. The lights flicker off and on again, and I rub my forehead, trying to clear the fog from my mind. My childhood, neatly bagged up, is sitting in the attic above our heads. It's not lost, after all. Can I see it? I ask. The stuff in the attic? Claire grins. Of course, Scarlett. Fetch that stepladder from the back porch, would you? I'll show you exactly where it is. We go up the stairs, carrying the wooden stepladder between us. On the landing, Claire opens up the rickety ladder below the square wooden hatch in the ceiling and climbs up, pushing the hatch door open to reveal a dark, cavernous space. Lucky there's a light up here, she calls, flicking the switch on. Come down, I call. It doesn't look safe. You hold the ladder and I'll go up. Nonsense, Claire laughs, tanned feet in flowery flip-flops disappearing up the rungs of the ladder. I'm pregnant, not ill. Come on. I follow her up into the floored loft space, piled high with boxes, tea chests, rolls of carpet, and black bin bags. My heart begins to thump. Claire is already kneeling beside the black bin bags, opening the knots at the top and checking inside. That's them, she says. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do you want to see? It's your stuff really, so if there is anything you want, we can throw it down. I look inside the first bin bag, fishing out school books, plimsolls, a stack of dog-eared pony books. There's a bundle of homemade cards tied up with string, carefully coloured with stubby wax crayons on scratchy pencils or garish felt pens. Endless sketches of ponies, a green potato-shaped car that has to be the Morris Traveller. Inside the second, I find a bag of Barbie dolls, a black Barbie horse with red wool plaited into the mane, my very first pair of satin ballet shoes, and an impossibly tiny pink leotard. The third bin bag is stuffed with soft toys. A fleecy brown bear, a ragged panda with only one ear, a knitted donkey that Gran made me back in the days when I was still her favourite granddaughter and not the problem child from hell. How did it all go so wrong? I'm taking big breaths in, yet the air seems thick and soupy, and I can't quite fill my lungs. I'm trying hard to stop my hands from shaking, and my eyes sting, either with dust or tears. I can't tell. Scarlett? Claire puts an arm around me, and I wipe a hand against my eyes. The fourth bag holds clothes. On top there's the red velvet dress I wore on my 8th birthday, Then the cerise silk crinkle skirt I wore on holiday in Corfu. There's a red fluffy jumper, the one I wore when we went to see the Nutcracker the Christmas I was 6, and the crimson corduroy pinafore dress I loved so much when I was 5. We pull out dress after dress, a dozen different kinds of red, shades of scarlet, ruby, burgundy, crimson, each one soft velvet or thick wool, embroidered cotton or crumpled linen. Red was my favourite colour, I whisper. Clare strokes my hair. I think that's what I was remembering, she tells me. All the little red dresses. But you need to keep these, Scarlett. I wouldn't dream of asking you to cut them up. They're special, aren't they? My throat is aching, and I can't quite find the words to explain just how special these bin bags full of memories really are. I just nod and smile and hug the dresses, breathing in a long-forgotten smell of lemony washing powder and happiness. They're special, I say to Clare when I can speak again. That's why I want to use some of them for the quilt, okay? Please, Clare, it's the best thing I can give to the new baby, my baby brother or sister. Clare hugs me and I don't pull away. It's only when the thunder crashes again, right above our heads, that we break apart. Goodness, if this storm gets any closer, it will be right inside the attic, Clare exclaims. Let's get back downstairs. I pick out 2 or 3 of the little red dresses and throw them down through the open hatch, watching them flutter down onto the landing carpet. I climb down first, hands holding tight to the smooth, paint-spattered wood of the ladder. Once my feet are firmly on the floor again, I hold the ladder steady for Clare. Looking up, I see her legs lowering shakily down, her brown feet in flip-flops feeling about for the rungs. Then there's a loud bang from downstairs and the lights go out, leaving us in semi-darkness. A roar of thunder rumbles out above our heads and suddenly there's a scream and Clare is falling. I put my hands out to catch her, but my hands close round the crinkly fabric of her skirt, which tears from my grasp. She falls heavily against the ladder, then twists to the side and lands with a sickening thud on the carpet. Red velvet and crimson silk all around her. So that, as I warned you, was a really dramatic chapter. And as you can see, we are getting to the real climax of the story now. I hope you're enjoying, I hope you're following. Thank you so much, all of you, for your support and for your comments, because every single comment on that YouTube channel makes me feel that I'm not speaking just to myself. And I get as much strength from you guys as maybe you get enjoyment from escaping into the story. So in that funny way, it's made the whole lockdown time quite special time, because I feel I'm making new friends from followers and subscribers to the YouTube channel. Which is really cool. Thank you so much again, and I will see you tomorrow, because hardly wait until then, because need to find out what is going to happen and how Scarlett is going to handle this and whether Clare is going to be all right. So I will see you tomorrow. Take care until then, and stay safe.